Hey guys, welcome to your XNA game development tutorial number 12. In this tutorial we're going to go over the static modifier, and that's this right here in front of the main function. And I'm hoping this is going to clear up some stuff for you guys. It'll probably help you understand classes and instances a little better. So what we're going to do is delete this stuff. And I'll start off by explaining to you what static means. And what static means is there's only one of them ever in memory. And so the way you access it is through the class itself, not through an instance of a class. So your program starts off basically by saying, like somewhere within, I don't know, however your program boots up, it'll be like program.main. And this is basically everything in your program. It'll run this right here. Because what you're doing is you're running this function from the class itself, not from an instance of it. So let's go in more detail of that. So say we want static void I don't know what to put that would be good here. But let's say my static function, and it's going to be the same as any other function, except of course for this static right here. And if we try to do human, so now if something's static, the way you're going to run the function or use the variable, because variables can also be static, but the way you're going to access them is through the name of the class right here itself. We're going to say human dot, but see, what we need right here is a public. And the way remember how we did program.main? That's because this is private, and we can do that. If we tried to do program, and there's no main right here because that's private. So yeah, let's set this to public so we can use it inside here. And we'll say human dot my static function, and that'll run this function. But say, let's create a constructor function. So public void human. So now whenever we create an instance of an object, then this function will run. So there's our instance. And that's one really important thing that you guys gotta learn, is that the difference between instances and then the classes themselves, like the static functions within that class. So there's certain functions that are going to be static. There's only one of them. Same with variables. That might be a better way to explain this. Let's say we have a static int height equal, I don't need to set equal to anything. But what I want to show you guys is say that we do Fred dot, and see there's no height. That's because it's static, because there's only one of them. And when we create a new instance of human, a new human object, then this is not going to be created. If we did in wait, then this is going to be created when we create this. But with this, it's only created once at the very beginning of your program, and the way you access that is using human dot, oh, and this has to be public because we're outside of it, height, or let's show you that, and there's height right there. Let's do a little hands-on stuff with this. So let's say that equals 5. Fred. Oh, this also has to be public. Console dot. Oh, and this is even better. So see how we have console right here? There's basically some class called console that's basically a built-in function. It's like it's sort of like in your toolbox. I'm gonna explain like where this is coming from in future tutorials, but basically you can think of this as like some kind of utility that there's already some code somewhere that's written for you, and there's a class called console, and inside it there's like all these functions. Like we're using WriteLine. Wait. But anyway, there'd be some function in here that'd be static, public, and remember how we were doing WriteLine, and it's basically using this function. And so let's delete that. Dot WriteLine, and that's what we're doing. Is there's this static function inside this console class, and we're using that. And also remember how we did how we converted that integer into a string. Well, there was some inside this string class we had this static function called format, and so it would be is like class string. This is already code that would be written for us, and inside it there'd be some static function. It would have to be public since we're using it outside of that class, called format. Oh, and by the way, this returns a string, and so that's basically what it's doing, and it would return it's like some string, and we're using that and setting it equals to this. And so hopefully that helps you guys a little to understand what I mean, what like the difference between static and creating instances of the class means. I think that's all I wanted to go over. Oh, actually I wanted to print some stuff out. What was I doing? Fred dot wait. So now I'll print out 5. Member names cannot be the same. Oh, delete that. See how it said void? Remember, it doesn't. You don't even need to put that there. And there's 5. And now we can also, if we tried to do Fred.height, there is no height because that's static. But if we did human, so now we're accessing this directly. There's only one of these that's ever created, and you access it by the human class directly. You say height, and there you go, it's 10. And in the next tutorial, though, we're gonna be going over what a constant is. So if I made this constant const, then that's what I'm going to be explaining. It's probably going to be a quick one. So don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys later.